Hey everyone, it's your homegirl, Jenny Leigh with VRA Realty. Welcome to another episode of Good to Know in Chester County, your inside scoop on local businesses that make Chester County feel like home. Today, I sit down with Kathy Cole, owner of Peonies and Lilacs, where the love for gardening flourished into business, bringing beauty into the community. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on. I was really, really excited to have you once I learned about your business. And obviously, I have them on display here. But why don't you, in your own words, tell everybody a little bit about your business?
Sure. First of all, I'm so excited to be here.
Oh.
I was so excited when we were able to make it work.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
My business is something that started out as a hobby and really did bloom into something bigger. I call it a backyard flower farm. I grow all my flowers myself and then arrange them personally. And I have wonderful customers who come by and they pick them up at my house. And it's really become something that I love to do. I love it. So it all started with just gardening at home, and the gardening started going from your traditional home gardening to growing cut flowers because I wanted to have flowers in my home.
Yes.
And so I learned how to grow them, and I got pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And I found that growing cut flowers is very different than growing just your regular landscape garden.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot different. And because you're growing for the purpose of cutting, which is a really hard mindset to get into when in your, initial plans, I'm going to grow and it's going to look beautiful. You have to change your perspective into, I'm actually going to be cutting these. And so
I had no idea that there was a difference.
It's a really big shift. There are varieties of flowers that are made for cutting versus what you just grow in your home garden. So it all started as just a hobby, and I started to get requests for my flowers when I started making videos about how to make arrangements. So I would post these little YouTube videos set to music where I would make these arrangements, and I'd run off screen and grab something from my garden to put in.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. It was a really therapeutic way for me to get through a hard time in my life.
Okay.
My mom was really sick, and she was living part-time with me, part-time with my sister. And so the times that she was with me, I would go out in the morning and cut flowers and show her all the flowers. And we talk about the names because some of them are kind of crazy sounding when you get into the botanical names. And then I'd go out and put together an arrangement for her, and I'd make it while on video. And then she'd have it in her room to enjoy. Oh. So that was really kind of how this all started.
Wow.
Because I started posting these videos, and people would reach out and ask if they could buy flowers. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not good enough for that.
Yeah.
I'm not a pro. And then when she passed away in 2021, I decided, you know what? You only live once. I'm going to go for it. So I started selling, and it took off, and it has been wonderful. I've loved being part of a community of flower lovers, whether they're customers or fellow growers.
Yeah.
And it's been a hit.
Oh, and I love that, thank you for sharing some of the personal side to it. I love that it's a wonderful memory for you with your mom.
Yeah.
And it kind of helped all of this flourish. I mean, these are stunning.
Thank you.
So around 2021 is when you got started?
Yep, that's when I officially got going.
Yeah. And I love how it evolved, because I think, it's either sometimes some people come in here and they're like, I was 10 years old, I knew what I wanted to do, and I just went with it. And other people are like, well, it just kind of was something I really liked, and I started doing it more and more, and then people came to me. And so I love hearing that. Yeah. Obviously, you're passionate and very good at it.
Thank you.
I already learned something new. I had no idea that there was a completely different process. But I really like when you can truly see that your passion shows. So, and I think a lot of people, too, have that self-doubt, right?
Yeah.
People started coming to you first.
Imposter syndrome is a real thing.
Yeah. You're just like, what? You want to buy these?
Yeah.
So, like, and here you are.
I don't think so, but
a couple years later.
Yeah.
And they are stunning. I'm very envious. think that I will probably just be coming to you. I have this, dream I'll garden one day, but I'm not sure I can pull that off. So it's been a couple years. Mm-hmm. So it originally started with people reaching out to you. Mm-hmm. And then has anything developed since then?
So let's see. I started out with just making, simple little arrangements for people. And honestly, that's kind of been like the bread and butter. It's everyone loves the mason jar arrangements. They're a really big hit because they're accessible for everyone for all circumstances, whether you just want something pretty for your home, whether you want to give a gift to someone. They're just nice, easy, standard products. Yeah. But then I also have larger options that I can do, like vase arrangements for special occasions. I've done flowers for funerals. I've done them for small events. I don't do weddings. I often get asked about weddings, but it's too big of a commitment for me right now. I'm a homeschool mom. Yeah. And so my kids have to take precedence in planning for the future. And so right now my focus is on them, and then I can do this business and sustain it with their help and with the flexibility of our homeschool schedule. Yeah. And when I do branch out into weddings, I want to be able to give my all to my customers because it's a huge thing for their life, and I don't ever want to, overpromise, underdeliver. Yeah.
That's huge. As business owners, a lot of people have a really hard time saying no.
It is very hard.
And what a compliment. People are coming to you asking for that. But, I think you are like very realistic. Like, thank you for the compliment. I would love to, but I don't want to underdeliver. Yep, and I think that says a lot about you and your business.
Thank you.
I personally, flowers, I love flowers. I love them. I try to keep them as alive as long as I can. Yep. But there's a certain emotion, I think, you started with doing these arrangements for fun and doing videos, but they were really for your mom. Mm-hmm. And you probably brought her a lot of joy. Yeah. Just bring, I love flowers. I'm going to be coming. I didn't know you were so close. You'll see, because I love sending my friend flowers for their birthdays. I just feel like it's special. Yeah. It just is. It creates that emotion that I think.
Speaking of, being able to send flowers, I do offer delivery at times. Like I said, my schedule is dictated by my kids and our homeschool life, but I try to plan, especially at this point of the season, like once a week, options to be able to deliver so that people can send flowers. Yeah. Because it's nice to pick up, but it's also nice for someone to show up at your door and surprise a loved one. I offer complimentary note cards, and I do school deliveries too. Oh. So at the beginning of the school year, I always offer free school delivery. I don't charge for delivery. I just charge for the product itself, and I go around to all the local schools and deliver flowers on behalf of the students. And it's really like a great way to start the school year. Yeah. I don't know, it's just nice to brighten people's lives with flowers.
Yeah, it really, I know it does for me. And I feel like every time that I send them to my friends, I love getting the message. It's just made their day So what made you decide to have your business in Chester County?
So it is a home-based business, so I'm kind of anchored here regardless, but I'm a lifelong resident. And my husband and I joke that when we were house shopping, I had a 3-mile radius I would look in because I wanted to be near where I grew up. I loved it. And I am so happy that this is where I get to have my business. Since it wasn't a choice for me, since this is where I live and where my flowers grow, I'm really lucky that the community here is awesome. Yeah. So I try to involve my customers in the process of their flowers from start to finish. Yeah. I post pictures and videos of when I'm first planting the seeds in February indoors. I talk about what I'm going to be growing. I have dahlias that grow from tubers. I have alliums that grow from bulbs. I have plants that grow from seeds, and you see the whole process from start to finish. Gosh. So it really brings the community into the product that they're buying. Yeah. And then along the way, I also ask for donations of mason jars or pickle jars, spaghetti sauce jars, whatever jars I can get that I can save from the landfill. Yeah. And I will clean them, sanitize them, and use them in my arrangements, and gives them a second life.
Yep.
And it lets the people in my community, my customers, and my friends who are just fans of flowers, who may not be buying but love being a part of something.
Yeah.
It gives them the opportunity to be a part of it and save a little bit of the earth as much as we can.
Yeah.
I get donations of boxes for packaging, for grocery bags for packaging the arrangements in the boxes. So it's really like a community project that we're all working together to, do our part and be as sustainable as possible.
Yeah, I love that. So just want to circle back to one thing you said in the beginning of this is it is a continuous running theme about how much people love being in Chester County.
Yep.
The 3 mile radius thing, I was cracking up. But early 20s, people meeting new people, they would say, "Oh, where'd you grow up?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, pathetically born and raised in Downingtown." I never left. Like I'm still here.
Yeah.
And then
it's not pathetic. It's great.
I know. I just, as early 20s, I didn't know any better. But now raising my son in the community, I'm just like, I don't ever want to leave.
I know.
I'll travel. I'll go anywhere.
You have everything you need in Chester County.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And the people are wonderful.
Yeah. It's the community and everything that you just shared. My goodness. It sounds like you have a whole group of people willing. Here's jars. Here's boxes.
I do. Buy Nothing groups have been so forthcoming with what they have to offer. My neighbors have, friends, relatives. And so one thing that my kids and I try to do to give back then is when we have excess flowers, we created something called the Petal Drop program.
Okay.
And we go around the community with flower arrangements, and it's really fun because we'll just drive around and I'll say to the kids, pick a house, and they'll pick a house, and we will drop off flowers at random. We don't know anything about the people, and it has a little note card on it that says, you've received a Peonies and Lilacs Petal Drop, just to let you know that, you matter and you make the world a better place by being here, and tells a little bit about my business. And you would not believe how many people don't understand that we're not asking for money. It is a no strings attached gift, which goes to show that not many of those happen in the world anymore.
Yeah.
And when they'll say to my kids, because I send my kids to the door, because they want to be part of it. And they'll say, "Are you raising money for something? Is this for school?" No, this is just a gift, just to let you know that you matter and that we're happy that you're in this community. And it's just a nice way for us to give back and for the kids to get to see what it means to be a good citizen, a good member of society, and that being kind really doesn't take much.
Oh my goodness.
So it's really nice.
What a fabulous idea, concept, and the way you're raising your children.
Thank you.
Because you're right. We don't see that as much as I'm sure we would like to. Yeah. And I'm sure the people are probably so caught off guard.
They are. Sometimes the look on their face, they're like, "Okay," and I'll just wave from the car, "Hello." Yeah. And they're like, "Thank you." And I've heard, people have reached out and said, "You don't know how much I needed this today."
Yeah.
I'm going through something, and getting those flowers meant so much. And my kids are like, "Mom, we did it." So it's just shows the power of flowers. And so it's wonderful to have amazing customers, and the wonderful donations that I get from people allow me to do this, because I couldn't swing it by myself without the donations of jars and boxes and, just the community support that I get.
Yeah. So. I'm trying so hard not to get choked up right now. The whole concept of paying it forward, and you're setting the tone, doing that for somebody, one, how ironic, I'm sure it happens more times than you would think, whether they share it or not, that they probably needed that little uplift that day.
But everyone needs it.
What does that do? It gives them that, they're happy and they're like, you know what, I'm going to do something for somebody else.
It really does.
So you're really making a big difference. I had no idea that you did that.
Oh, yeah.
And
I don't talk too much about it because it's, it's kind of nice that it's a surprise.
Yeah.
People aren't necessarily looking for it. And it's not like the people who have a terrible thing happening in their life are the only ones having a hard day.
Yeah.
That you can have a stable, happy, typical life, but still have a hard day.
Yeah.
And to know that you can receive flowers, it's, everyone deserves it. You never know what people are going through. And there's no rhyme or reason for us to pick a home. We just pick. It could be anyone of any background. It doesn't matter.
Just random.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, my question, the next question is already answered pretty much, but I was going to say, what's so unique about your business? But there's a lot of uniqueness to it. Well, I think that
it's fun. We have a good time.
Literally homegrown, from beginning to end. You have the options that, majority of the time people pick up, but you do have some options for delivery. And then just doing that, I don't think I've heard of that before. But you said you're born and raised, so I feel like there's just a lot of people I see in our community that are like that.
Yeah.
And
it's true.
And it's, oh my goodness. I don't even know where to go now because that totally threw me off. Wow. So I was also going to say, how does the community support your business?
Well, that's how they support. Yeah. They're wonderful. The donations and just the love I get. I've met so many nice people, so many nice business owners.
Yeah.
I mean, you go into a store and you just get talking. I mean, I'm a talker. When my kids are always laughing because I talk to everyone at every register of every store we go to. And they're like, Mom, you know everyone. I'm like, no, I don't. I just talk to everyone.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But you go in and you just start talking to people and you're like, wow, this is a great community. Like the person at this store and this store and this store, everyone has a story and a way to, you make connections with people no matter where. And it's just the community we live in.
And I think a lot of people are open to the conversation, which is really nice. I mean, you might go somewhere else and strike up a conversation and might be crickets.
Yep.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's another good thing for your kids to see too.
Yeah.
That you're doing, just strike up a conversation with somebody. Yeah. Even that will maybe make somebody's day too.
Oh, yeah, they don't have any shortage of words. They are chatterboxes, which is wonderful. Like we'll go to the store and they talk to everyone too, which
that's
I guess
good.
They learned it from me.
But that's good.
Yeah.
I personally think that's great, teaching them to be outgoing. It's okay to ask questions. They're going to learn that way.
Yep.
So you are literally answering all my questions ahead of time.
Sorry.
But maybe you can add more. What do you love most about having your business here? But you named a couple. If there's anything that stands out in particular.
I mean, I love all of the fun opportunities there are for selling my flowers. There are so many shops that are interested in having flowers there for events.
Yeah.
There are so many people who are interested in using my services to beautify their space, if that's even a word. Beautify, I don't know. But it's just everyone's so open to collaborating and networking, and I think that's really special.
Yeah. What would you say? What's your most popular product?
Okay, so it's really hard to pick because the season is always changing.
Yeah.
So I start out with, I do something a little different than other growers. I think a lot of people go tulips and daffodils for the start of their season.
Yeah.
I work with alliums. They're these beautiful purple globes, and I love those for Mother's Day. And that kind of really kicks off the season for me. So I kind of start out in May, and then things kind of ease out before we get to a peony season. Yeah. And that's like, I sell out of peonies.
Yeah.
I'm always adding more peony plants to my garden. Every year I'm like, okay, time for more because I sell out. And I don't blame my customers because they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're just the most beautiful flower. That's the name of my business comes from peonies are my favorite flower. Lilacs were my mom's. And so a lot of people sometimes think I only sell peonies or only lilacs. And no, it's just a favorite flower for me.
Yeah.
It's a meaningful name more than anything. So peonies are a huge hit. And then the season tends to, most people think, oh, it's, June, July, this is the peak time. No, the peak time is dahlia time. Yeah. That's like end of July, beginning of August when the dahlias take off. And you see in the arrangement I brought you,
Stunning.
it's full of dahlias. And that that is what people love. They go nuts for dahlias, and I don't blame them because
They're so unique.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm very, very picky about my flowers. I only grow certain colors. I only grow certain varieties. I have a certain palette in mind for colors and shapes, and that is, so I pick what I grow very specifically.
Okay.
So you'll see like the colors in here, they all kind of go together. You're not having a lot of contrast that's going to be like shocking to the eye. So I actually cover every single dahlia flower with an organza bag as soon as it comes into bud form.
Oh my gosh.
So that nothing is eaten by pests, so that your flowers are perfect. If something is like ragged looking, or if I see that there are a lot of insects on it, I don't sell it. I might save it for myself or give it to a neighbor who doesn't care or a friend or one of my sisters. But I won't sell anything that isn't perfect because my customers deserve perfect. And it's a labor of love. And the reason that I have to do that is because I don't use dangerous chemicals in my garden. I grow as environmentally friendly as possible. I use beneficial insects in my garden. So, releasing ladybugs, releasing these microscopic insects that you add water to them and water them into your garden, and they will eat the insects, the bad guys. There's all kinds of products like that. So I choose alternative methods as much as possible. And I also grow certain varieties with the hope that I get the fewest amount of insect damage, because that's really, insects and deer are the worst pressure for a gardener.
And we're certainly in an area where there's a ton of deer.
Yep.
That's pretty challenging in itself.
Yep.
So what's so funny to me, or not funny, but this business was not technically planned.
No, it was not.
It evolved, and it, people started coming to you, which I love. But the interesting thing is you are a natural born entrepreneur, I think. Some of the things that you're sharing with me, like you already know when to say no.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that you cover every single bulb, like the dedication is, you're just going to, you're going to have to buy another acre or two, I think, because the more and more people hear about this and how you grow them, like that was a great learning lesson for me. I had no idea that other little insects or...
they're beneficial insects, beneficial predators.
Yeah.
And they go after the bad bugs. So there are good bugs and bad bugs. So I don't use lawn chemicals. I don't use anything like that because I want nature in my yard. Yeah. Because there are and I actually will talk about that in my posts when I see something that is in my garden that I know is beneficial. I'll post a picture of it and explain why this is a good guy, why you don't want to kill this if you see it in your yard. Yeah. I have a little mini pond, like very little, but I really wanted to have a water source so that I could bring in frogs and, dragonflies and all the things that will eat the bad guys for me. And they're a great indicator of garden health, and I have a lot. So it makes me feel really good that I've created a habitat for them that is safe and healthy, where they can thrive and they can help my garden thrive. And it makes me feel good.
Also, I think that this is, a science lesson for your children too.
It is.
Everything that
and they're involved in all of it, and they know how to identify all the insects. And my son is a Boy Scout, and he's going to go for his gardening merit badge, and I'm going to help him with that because there's a lot to it, and there's a lot to learn to help our environment. And getting your kids outside is great.
Huge.
I'm actually this is a brand new endeavor for me, but I'm going to be doing a homeschool gardening flower arranging class. And as long as it is, everyone is happy with it, then it's something I hope to offer, not just to homeschool kids, but to other kids and adults in the community that maybe will...
Sign me up.
Yeah. I will let you know.
I was actually going to ask a little bit more about that because you're a natural teacher as well. So, I was going to say, did you ever consider maybe having some classes or, training? And I'm sure
Yeah, I was a little nervous, but I think, with experience comes the ability to overcome those nerves.
Yeah.
And I would never want to offer a class or a product that I couldn't stand behind. And I feel like I'm at the point now where I can successfully teach a class and stand behind it and know that I've educated myself enough in advance to be able to answer the kids' questions and provide them with a great experience. That's
so great. And you come prepared. Like, I really think you are a natural born entrepreneur.
Well, my dad was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
He died when I was 18. So I've had my parents, I loved them and I had a wonderful time with them, but it was a short time.
Yeah.
And my dad taught me a lot about business and about how to, go for what you want in a responsible way.
I was just going to say, because everything you keep sharing with me, I'm like, wow. And this was just because you like making videos with flower arrangements. This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you had some guidance growing up. Yeah. That's awesome.
I had a good role model. My dad was really good with business. Everyone who knew him knew that he was a business guy.
Yeah. Well, clearly, I think you're doing a phenomenal job. And I think the community agrees as well.
Thank you.
So, we are in September now. So what happens now this time of year for you?
So I am getting to the end of my flower season. In the next few weeks, we will get our first frost.
Yeah.
And that frost will take out my dahlias.
Yeah.
And that's when I say, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
But before that, I do have some exciting things coming up.
Okay.
I have September 19th to the 21st, I'm doing a fundraising event for a local nonprofit, Ella's Gifts. And I'm going to be donating a portion of my profits of my sales for that time period to this wonderful foundation to help spread kindness in the community and help further their mission. I also have an event in Malvern, St. Francis in the Fields Fair, and that is September 27th from 12 to 4. And that will it's an event to bring together community and nature. And it's all people who are interested in, doing good for the earth and going back to our roots. And there will be beekeepers there and growers and people who work with, different art forms. So I'm excited to be part of that too.
Thanks for sharing that. I think I'm going to go.
And then when that's over, I will have a little bit of a break where I tend to my garden, clean it up for the winter, and then I get into my evergreen sales. And that is when the holiday magic happens. Yeah. And that's really a fun time.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about that, because
that was another thing that just happened on its own. Because when I started this, it was just all about the flowers. And so when my mom passed away, it was August. So I was already towards the end of my season. And I was like, I only got like 2 months of this before the weather ended it for me.
Yeah.
And I thought, how can I extend this fun? Well, I love decorating for the holidays.
Yeah.
So I put together like one sample evergreen mason jar. And it took off. People loved it. It's a really fun hostess gift. It's a fun tabletop decoration. It's a great teacher gift. It's a great anything gift. And so I started selling those. And then I offered other products, and some of those come and go. The one year I did wreaths. Other years I did window swags. But my big seller are the mason jar arrangements and then large evergreen centerpieces.
Oh,
and
I'm sure that's
they're
stunning.
really pretty. I use dried oranges, and I use dried grapefruit slices, quail feathers, poppy pods that I saved from my garden, all different things, and come up with some really pretty winter decorations. So that's a really fun time. It's a very busy time, so I enjoy. It's a very short period, but I enjoy the little break I get before I get into it, and then once I get into it, I'm like,
just nonstop.
Just love it. I'm in my greenhouse playing Christmas music and smelling cinnamon and just having a great time.
I love
making
that.
arrangements.
Well, it's the same thing with the flowers that we talked about. It's the emotion. It's the feeling that you get, and you might be exhausted but
Yeah,
really
definitely
enjoying
exhausted.
it.
Yep.
So do you get a break ever? I'm like maybe in February?
So January is a big month of rest for me.
Okay.
I don't do much.
Okay.
February, I start to get some of my stuff ready. I start ordering my seeds if I haven't already ordered them in January.
Okay.
There's a saying in the gardening community that, most people think that the best time of gardening is in the summer, but it's really in the winter when it starts with the dream and the planning.
Uh-huh.
And that's when you sit and you get all your catalogs out and you start drawing up your plot and how you're going to design your garden that year. And it's just, I love that time of year. It's very cozy. I get my books out. My kids and I talk about what we're going to grow. I order new varieties, and there are no bugs. Everything's fresh. You're not too hot and humid, and you're just enjoying the time of planning and hoping for another new season. So that's my February, and by March, I am starting to have little seedlings growing inside, and I'm waking up my dahlia tubers that I've stored for a new year. So there isn't much of a break, but I don't mind because I love it.
And I mean, it shows. Yeah. Even talking about like the during the winter, like the holiday season, it is so fast.
Yeah.
And you are probably, it sounds like you're bombarded, but you're still happy.
It's awesome. I love it.
And it's pretty cool that you added something else in during your quote unquote down season.
And what's nice is that the people who order from me are often repeat customers, and they'll say to me, my holiday season doesn't start until I get my centerpiece from you. I have people who every year they order from me, and I'm like, I can't believe I am part of someone's holiday tradition. Like me, what I make is part of what makes a holiday for someone. And that, like, they order from me every year. They make sure they get their evergreens, and it makes me so happy.
Well, you're making them happy too.
Oh, I hope so. I try.
So how can everybody find you? Because I am positive the second I send this out, people are going to want to know where to find you and how to get in touch and how to make orders. So
I do have a website, peoniesandlilacs.com. It is not my main source of information, but it is a place where you can find access to all of my socials and my email if you're not a social media person.
Okay.
If you are, I'm on Facebook, Peonies and Lilacs, and I'm on Instagram, Peonies and Lilacs Design. Design because Peonies and Lilacs was taken when I created it. So I had to throw a design in there so I could have the name. So you'll look for me there, and you just send me a message and tell me what you want, and I will fill your order if I am available to do it, which I almost always am. I usually ask for 24-hour notice for an order, but I have been known to fill an order in 20 minutes if needed for people, because I know what it's like to need a last-minute gift. To be on your way to someone's house and go, oh my gosh, I don't have anything to bring. So to know that there's someone you can contact and I can put something together for you that's beautiful and fresh and locally grown.
Thank you so much. I mean, thank you for just starting a business without even realizing it was happening. Thank you for teaching your children such great values.
Thank you.
And, having the support that you do by recycling, bringing in the jars. There's like so many things. You do a lot of good.
I couldn't do it without my kids, my husband, my family, my community. It's a group effort.
Yeah, it is. And this is a great community to have that. We're all here to support. And I love it. So
thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.